today? Oh, we're presentation.
It's right there.
Where? Oh, sorry. I didn't use the technology today. Oh
Excuse me,
god, it's so hot.
Good evening, good evening.
Anyways,
So these are my sisters. This is Shoshana Bennett, and this is Shay Ebanks.
really look alike though.
thank you.
So today we will be talking about the history of the Cayman Islands, the labor and industry.
So we will start today and see. So, well, where my flashcards is? Oh no. Can't see where my glasses. Oh. Where my flashcards?
Is it this one?
No. Oh, right there. Sorry, baby love.
Sorry, she kind of old right now. She forgetting everything already.
Yes.
Oh, it can't have
Oh yeah. That label back in the day was hitting me. Okay, so first we're talking about turtling. I'm going to go in my professional voice now. So, turtling in the Cayman Islands. So mostly seamen would do this, obviously. Oh wait, we have to give you a preview of our presentation. So first we're just gonna list out what we're gonna be talking about so that you will know. So first is turtling, wrecking, which is the action of causing the destruction of a ship in order to steal cargo, which we will talk about that in a little bit because it makes it seem as if Caymanians were actually stealing from people, but that's not so. Logging, which is cutting up tree branches to build or use. Slavery, seamen, backing sand. Next one. No, they're like industry. Sorry. And then industries in Cayman Islands, schooner building, sponge harvesting, gathering seabird eggs, guano collecting, catching sharks for leather, trading, tourism, and finance. So that's what we will be talking about today. So as I was saying, turtling was the main industry for the Cayman Islands before tourism. By the 1800s, the local turtling fleet went to the south coast of Cuba and the coastline of Central America. Does anyone know where they got these turtles from? Can you just like any guesses? It's a country, a Spanish country.
Spanish country. Honduras. Cuba.
No.
El Salvador.
Mexico. Like a country in Central America?
Yeah, I think so.
Costa Rica.
I think that's kind of close.
Panama.
No.
Oh no, I missed it.
Alright, hold up. Nicaragua.
Yes.
Alright,
It
right,
was
Panama.
yeah. So it was the largest share in the foreign markets, and they caught the turtles from the Mosquito Coast of Nicaragua.
Sir.
And then in 1988, the Cayman Islands banned turtle hunting, but it is still legal today to some people who have license in accordance with the Marine Conservation Law. So that is about turtling. So wrecking, we never really found anything under wrecking, but it is believed to say that when Caymanians saw ships running aground, they were wrecked by coral reefs. So some people will obviously be killed, or some people would just flee the ship. And so us Caymanians would, or most likely a seaman, would go to the ship and would take, would salvage goods, like a piece of board to like build something, or like food, clothing, whatever they could find to just like salvage and bring back to life to like whatever they need to make it out of. And then logging, I also never found a lot under logging either, but mahogany was also exported to different countries too, because we did trading and stuff like that. But they cut down trees, obviously for wood, again, to like build houses. Yeah, make a fire, that's true. Yeah, to keep away from the mosquitoes, that's true. Yeah, build boats, like cat boats and stuff like that. Now seamen. Brittany, you want to talk about seamen?
Sure. Well, from my experience, when I asked my grandfather what seamen do, because my grandfather, Little Earl, he was one of the seamen, and he said, and they would go out in the sea and like to provide for their family and because the women they would stay home. For the women, they would stay home and they would take care of the children, clean up the house, and make sure everything is good in the island. While seamen are just men that go to the ocean and go fishing and make money for their family in the island.
And they also built catboats, so that was another type of labor too. So when they built catboats, they used it for fishing and turtling, like what she just said, and to transport to different places. So when they found out that they could create this type of boat called a catboat, they used it for transporting to like a hospital or market. And then South Sound, I guess, would make delicious breads, and they would like transport it to West Bay so that the West Bayers could have some bread too, you know? So yeah. And they would also transport dead bodies and sick people to like the hospitals or from the hospitals. So I thought that was very interesting. Backsanding. You guys obviously know Caymanians like a white Christmas, so they would backsand. And yeah, in one of those bags made from silver thatch. And they would bath the sand to like put in front of their houses and stuff, lay it down all perfectly and neat, and you would have a white Christmas.
Alright, this is facts or cap. So what is a cap? Do any of you know what cap is?
No.
No, explain.
Isn't it the thing that you put on your head?
That's what they eat.
First kidding.
Kid! Kid!
Anyways, what does it mean in our generation now?
A hat?
What does how do you say abbreviation?
I don't know.
Slang.
Oh yeah, the slang.
Oh, that means life.
Or something
Or
false.
false.
Okay.
Anyways,
So before we talk about slavery, Brittany will ask you this question.
is it fact or cap that slaves in Cayman were beaten brutally?
Drop.
Good job.
Now we gave you an easy one. I don't
Yeah,
know
so-
if the other ones are hard, but we know.
Yeah, so like that's the reason Cayman doesn't really involve or technically involve slavery in Cayman. Or yeah, considered in Cayman because they're not beaten brutally or like treated as bad as like the ones from other places.
So slavery. The first Cayman land grants by the English crown were made in 1734, and it's most likely that these first settlers, which is Campbell, Middleton, Bodden, Spofford, Foster, and Crimble. So those were like the first settlers that came here with those last names, but it is said that besides Foster and Bodden, the other ones left to Jamaica with their slaves. So Miss Ellis, do you recognize any of these last names? Like Campbell?
Campbell is,
Spofford, Crimble?
well, that's actually Crimble, but the Jamaican name is Campbell. I don't know that, but Foster, Campbell is there.
Because it would be like they're saying like, because they moved to Jamaica, the Foster and Bodden is mostly like names here, right? That's what they're saying.
Foster is very popular. Foster is popular in Jamaica.
Oh,
Mhm.
yeah. So, yeah, Foster and Bodden were like the main ones that stayed here, and then the other ones went to Jamaica. And then the cartographer George Good drew the first map of Grand Cayman for the Royal Navy. He made note in the margin making the population at 400 half free and half slaves. So basically in Cayman, as they said, like half were free and half were slaves. It was always like that until 1988, as I would read soon. Sorry. So yeah, by 1833, sorry, the slavery was officially abolished, and there were no more than 985 slaves out of the total population population of 2,000 people. So by 1883, we actually had like 2,000 people here, so that's crazy. Yeah, that's
So
interesting.
do you have a question or are you
It's
just
hard.
stretching?
Do
Did
you
you
have
have a
a
question or you
Oh, I
were
was
just?
stretching.
Oh. Okay, we have another fact or cap. Is it fact or cap that Cayman Islands' main industry is real estate and development?
Good question.
Let's cap.
Does anyone want to guess?
I'm gonna say that's just a 5. I think it seems to us a 5.
No, it's cap because you just said that tourism was the main industry.
It's kind of like a trick question. I would say it's facts and cap because like the main.
Okay, it's not.
But
It's not number one on the
Yeah,
list.
it's not number one, but
The
it's,
question
it's
says main industry. That's the
Yeah.
key.
Yeah,
So,
Main, like,
Tourism.
main.
Oh, yeah.
tourism.
Tourism is part, so you're right, you're wrong. Nice try though.
They said it was a trick question,
But
on
it's-
it, so technically I ain't wrong, Nora.
Yeah. And for slavery to cotton, they picked cotton obviously, and it says that between 1802 and 1804, like approximately 200,000 pounds were exported. Yeah, I remember that. Exported to somewhere.
Yes.
Mostly probably to like Jamaica or like Tampa or Florida,
Yes.
I think.
What are schooner buildings?
Schooner building is shipbuilding. That's another name
Yeah.
for like ship or
That's right.
boat schooner. And does anyone know what guano collecting is?
I don't know, ask that.
No? No.
No.
It's collecting of the manure of birds. Manure of birds and bats because the manure, which is, if no one knows, the feces or goo of birds and bats, were used for gunpowder. So they would try to collect as much of that in case like. That's true. You're so busted. Ew. Okay, so trading. Let me see this. Okay, trading. So who knows which country mainly we trade with? What we traded with?
I'm gonna say Jamaica.
Okay, good job. So trading would include coconuts, cotton again, thatch rope. Yeah, I think that's about it. Yeah. And then, so the thatch rope would be stripped and dried and twisted into fine